You leave your job at 57, ready for early retirement. You figure Medicare catches you at 65. But between your last employer paycheck and your first Medicare card lies an 8-year void. We call these the gap years. And if you retire in your late 50s, you have to cross them entirely on your own before federal coverage kicks in. For a couple crossing that gap in 2026, the unsubsidized price tag for health insurance, just the premiums before meeting a single deductible, is roughly $32,000 a year. Across 8 gap years, that easily clears $250,000. You might think you already accounted for this, but the famous retirement healthcare estimates, like Fidelity's $345,000 figure, assume you arrive at age 65 already covered. The gap years are extra. It catches planners off guard because most workers never see their true health insurance invoice. An average employer family plan costs about $27,000 a year, but the company absorbs $20,000 of that invisibly. It acts as a silent salary that vanishes the exact day you quit. Putting a flat $500 a month into a retirement spreadsheet ignores how individual marketplace pricing actually works. Unsubsidized premiums are age-rated. The bill aggressively compounds every single year, peaking right at age 64. This unbudgeted 6-figure insurance gap poses a more direct threat to an early retirement portfolio than even a severe market crash. To understand why this bill just got so heavy, we have to look at what changed in Washington this year. During the pandemic, Congress removed the income ceiling for Affordable Care Act subsidies, giving middle-class earners access to premium tax credits. Those enhanced credits expired at the end of 2025. Now, the old subsidy cliff is back. Subsidies completely disappear the moment a couple earns $1 over 400% of the federal poverty line, an income of roughly $85,000. For a 60-year-old enrollee, earning that $1 extra triggers an instant $9,600 penalty in lost assistance. Expiring subsidies spiked average premiums 58%, dropping projected 2026 ACA enrollment from 22.3 to 17.5 million. People just over the cliff, the 400 to 500% bracket, made up 3% of enrollees, but 27% of the exodus. These are the early retirees. They are too young for Medicare and suddenly too wealthy for assistance. Waiting around for a legislative fix is a gamble. Crossing this gap safely requires active mathematical mitigation. This chart lays out 4 levers to manage gap year healthcare. We grade them on 2 axes: lifestyle and planning effort on the bottom versus financial cost reduction on the side. First is MAGI engineering. Subsidy eligibility is based on taxable income, not total wealth. By funding your lifestyle through a careful sequence of Roth account withdrawals and the return of basis from taxable accounts, a couple spending $80,000 a year can legally report an income low enough to dodge the subsidy cliff. But this demands years of preemptive account structuring. To pull it off, you have to aggressively burn through your tax-free growth assets early in retirement. If you lack those account types, you might look at lever 2, right-sizing the insurance. This usually means dropping a comprehensive plan for a bare-bones bronze plan paired with a funded health savings account. This keeps your monthly premiums lower, but it shifts the financial burden entirely to your out-of-pocket limits. This year, the average marketplace deductible spiked 37% to a record high of $3,786 per person. Both strategies force the retiree to absorb intense friction. You either dedicate a decade to precise tax planning or you take on severe out-of-pocket medical risk. If the domestic math looks too punishing, the remaining options require stepping outside the American individual marketplace entirely. Lever 3 is semi-retirement, frequently called the barista-FIRE strategy. By securing a part-time job specifically because it offers health coverage, you instantly neutralize a $32,000 premium bill, essentially converting a math problem into a daily scheduling question. The downside is obvious. You are sacrificing the autonomy of early retirement to clock in for a manager. Finally, there is lever 4, geo-arbitrage, moving abroad for the gap years. Systems in places like Portugal, Japan, or Taiwan offer excellent care for a fraction of the cost. The same coverage gap that costs $2,000 a month in the States drops to just a few hundred overseas. Entering a foreign system can eliminate 80% of your annual premium costs, though you pay for that discount in heavy logistical and emotional tolls. You navigate foreign tax codes, secure residential visas, and leave your established family behind. Bypassing the U.S. individual market provides the most mathematically efficient escape hatch, but it demands the highest tolerance for lifestyle disruption. Knowing the levers isn't enough. You have to sequence them to match your specific financial and physical realities. This flowchart maps out a logical gap year strategy. The first check: do you have a well-funded mix of taxable, tax-deferred, and tax-free accounts? If yes, you pull the MAGI engineering order to control your reported income. If your money is locked up in rigid retirement accounts and you lack that flexibility, the next question is geographical. Are you strictly tied to living in the United States? If no, geo-arbitrage is your strongest play. If you have to stay domestic, your path depends on your medical profile. Do you have chronic conditions that require frequent, low-deductible care? If yes, look at semi-retirement. If you are generally healthy, a bronze plan paired with an HSA will bridge the gap. There is no universal best option. Optimizing your gap years requires picking the specific friction point your portfolio and lifestyle can actually endure. It is entirely possible that Congress eventually acts. The subsidy cliff is deeply unpopular, and future legislation might restore those enhanced tax credits before you hit 57. But the risk here is entirely asymmetric. If you plan for the worst-case cliff and it disappears, your retirement ends up pleasantly overfunded. If you bank on a subsidy and it fails to materialize, your portfolio suffers an unrecoverable six-figure hit. Therefore, the unbreakable rule for your spreadsheet is this: price out the exact unsubsidized premium for your age, factor in the deductible, and multiply it across every single gap year until you reach 65. Ultimately, you have to build a retirement foundation heavy enough to withstand a total shift in federal policy. A retirement strategy that only functions if politicians intervene remains a gamble on a variable you cannot control.